Good evening, everyone. I am out here today in northern Alabama, kind of getting ready to do a little bit of what we've been doing a lot of lately, which is road cruising, but I figured I would walk around this beautiful creek first and just see if I can turn up anything. It's kind of reminiscent of where we saw some cottonmouths in North Alabama recently. So I was wondering if I could turn up any here, and I just kind of wanted to get out and actually check this out since I've never stopped here. I drive past it a lot, but water is super clear. Could potentially be a good creek for some turtles, like striped neck musk turtles should be in this region. And those are always a pretty good find, so yeah, I'm going to poke around here for a little bit, and if I don't see anything, I'm going to head out and do some road cruising, so I will update you guys with our first find. This is probably going to be the last really hot night of road cruising we're going to have this year. It's almost 90 today. We've got a pretty dramatic cool-off coming pretty soon, so it's very likely that this will be the last we see of 90-degree weather in 2022, and frankly, I think that's a good thing. There is a very weird sense of urgency in the air today, and I think that might be because this cool front that's going to be coming in tomorrow is already kind of starting to blow in some weird wind, and the trees are swaying, the clouds are moving very fast above my head. It might not look like it on camera, but they're pretty much booking it for out here. We don't see cloud movement like that very often on the East Coast. But yeah, a sense of like urgency is in the air, and I'm kind of hoping that the snakes will have that same sense of urgency, because tomorrow is going to be what I think is going to be the first real day of the permanent fall-like weather that we're going to be experiencing over the course of the rest of September and October, and really until it starts to become winter. Well, I didn't see anything down at the creek, but it does look like a promising spot to potentially visit on a cooler day, maybe in the spring. So we're going to get to driving around, and hopefully there will be more activity on the roadway. Yo, what? Yo, what? Yo, what? Oh my goodness! That is a baby slender glass lizard. Holy crap! What a way to start the day! Oh my goodness gracious, that is so awesome. That is the first time I have ever seen a baby slender glass lizard. And I just can't believe that. That is so epic. Like 5 minutes after pulling out of that creek stopping. Oh my goodness, it is just in the air today. That is fantastic. That is just one of the most ridiculously cool things I have ever seen. That is fantastic. Look at him. Beautiful. These guys are just, they're so much more interesting looking than eastern glass lizards when they're babies. You see a lot of baby eastern glass lizards, at least where they're common. They're not common in, at least I don't think they're common up here. But the baby eastern glass lizards are a lot more, they don't have that stripe down the middle of the back like that. This stripe here just down the dorsal. They don't have that, but they do have similar looking sides. And they're just a little bit bulkier. They're not as slender like the slender glass lizards. So for those unfamiliar with glass lizards, there's two main ways you can tell this is not a snake. Well, three, I guess. They have a lateral fold down the body that's hard to see on this guy because he's so small. They have an ear hole, which you can kind of see right there behind the eye. And they do blink. So snakes are not capable of blinking, but lizards have eyelids, so they can blink. This guy, however, would win a staring contest very easily because I don't think he's blinked a single time since I found him. But what a fantastic way to start the episode. I cannot believe that. He's so cooperative too. Like when he starts to move, he freaks out quite a bit, and I've been very, very careful not to break his tail because they're just so fragile. I'm taking a few photos real quick and then we're going to get back on the road. But that is so freaking cool. Just look at that. Glass lizards are kind of like coach whips in that they have two modes. They're either on or they're off. And when they're on, they are one of the most elusive and slippery creatures on the planet. They can disappear almost instantly into seemingly thin air. But then once you get your hands on them and calm them down a little bit, they almost go into a trance-like state where they just don't move at all. It's perfect for photos and video. But you wouldn't really even know this thing was alive until I put it on the ground and it tries to get away, which I'm going to do here in a second so y'all can see. But one thing I do want to point out is you can see that little anomaly right there is his vent, which is basically his lizard butthole. And the reason I point that out to you is because that is where his tail starts. So anything above that little anomaly right there, you can kind of make out right there. is his body, and then anything below that is his tail. So if I were to put him down, whoop, you saw that, just how quickly he kind of started moving there. If I put him down, his vent is about right there. So all of that is tail, and all of that can and will break off very easily if I don't handle this thing incredibly gently. So hopefully, oh. All right, I'm just gonna actually, I think, let him go at this point because I don't want to risk breaking his tail. And I do want you guys to get to see just how quickly he can disappear into this grass. All right, little dude, go on. Look at that. Did you just see? He's essentially gone. Like, I don't even see him anymore. Just instantly. It's so impressive how quickly they disappear. But that is fantastic. What a way to start out the episode. Let's get back to cruising and see what else we can find. So this area we're in today is an area that I've been quite a few times over the last 2 years. Not a ton, but I just found another DOR slender glass lizard. Well, not another DOR, but another one that was dead on the road. And it was an adult this time, so evidently this is a pretty good spot for him. So I'm just gonna keep cruising and hope we get another one. I mean, that would be awesome to see an adult too, but just wow. All right, it's almost completely dark, and here is our first snake of the night. Actually, quite a large copperhead. I mean, he's not super big around, but he's nice and long. But just starting to come out onto the road. First snake we've seen since we got here, and oh, he's quite active already. So I'm just gonna let him keep moving. But hopefully that's a good sign. There will be more snakes to come. Well, the wind is really blowing out here, but there is yet another little copperhead. Well, our first little copperhead of the night. The first one was huge, but very nice. It's been about maybe 30 minutes or so. I'm gonna put the timestamp so y'all will know for sure, but I'm not keeping track right now. So I'm just gonna move him out. We're gonna keep moving though. Second copperhead of the night. All right, well, it's a little after 9 at this point, and still have only seen the 2 copperheads. That is definitely not ideal, but I can't really complain about that, seeing as we found that glass lizard, but still really a kind of weird anomaly that we're just not seeing much in the way of numbers the last 2 nights, even though it's the right time of year. Hey, it's been a minute since we've seen one of these, and by that I mean like 2 nights. He is really, really yellow. Nice looking eastern garter as our next find. Well, she mussed all over me, but a little bit on the thin side, possibly a female that had babies this year, so I'm just gonna let her move off the road, and we're gonna keep cruising. Hopefully we'll see some more stuff, but it's been kind of slow since the sun went down. Here's a nice little random non-snake find. Spotted this guy flying across the road and decided to stop and see what it was, and it is a pickerel frog. We've seen a lot of these guys recently, just randomly like this, which is kind of odd. This guy's actually got some kind of unusual pattern on the side there, but really good looking randed. These guys are related to leopard frogs and bullfrogs. It's just such a good looking frog. They're so awesome. These guys and wood frogs are definitely probably 2 of my favorite frogs we have here in the US. And these guys are highly toxic, which I didn't know. But apparently if you like put these guys in a bucket with other species of frogs, everything else will die. That's just how toxic they are. So if you ever pick up a pickerel frog, don't touch your eyes or nose, or you will probably have a sneezing fit or potentially worse. So really good looking frog. But decent find to end the night if we don't see anything else. I'm probably gonna start making my way home at this point, but obviously if I see anything else, I'll stop, so. All right, well, here is another snake. A very nice little neonate gray rat. That thing is beautiful. Look at that contrast. Fantastic. A little bit nicer than the ones we've been seeing closer to home. I've yet to actually see an adult rat snake from this area, so I don't really know what they look like, but I'm assuming they're a lot more gray rat than the ones we get close to home. And those are pretty heavy gray rats, so these guys should be pretty pure gray rat snakes over here. But just stuff falling out of the trees over there. All right, I'm gonna get this beauty out of the road, and we're gonna keep cruising. Maybe we'll see a couple more snakes on the way down. All right, well, I'm back on the road I live on, and of course now there's gonna be another snake. Look at this guy periscoping. It's our second garter snake of the night. Look at that, he's like half of his body's off the ground. That's really neat to see. Good looking snake too, nice and sharp looking little garter. Guy's really colorful, really handsome looking little garter snake. Actually, I don't see a lot of garters on the road I actually live on. I usually see them a little bit down the way where we normally night cruise, so that's kind of cool. But I'm gonna make sure he gets off safely, and we're gonna call it a night here, I guess. Good evening, everybody. It is a beautiful, partially overcast September day. It's nearing the end of the month, and I don't think much has happened since I saw you guys last. We did have one really good day, but that'll end up going in a different video. But I'm out here today in one of the sandiest areas I know of in the Georgia Piedmont. Look at this. Just looks like straight up coastal plain sand. But nope, we are in the Georgia Piedmont, and we're gonna do a little bit of road cruising, see what all's crawling around. Well, there's our first snake of the day. Pretty quickly in. A nice little rough green. Look at that beauty. Very nice. These guys become super common on the roads this time of year, and I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen more of them than we have recently. So, not going to spend too much time with them because I'm sure there will be more to come, but that is a beautiful green snake. Super vibrant and a great way to start the day. So I guess I'm just going to let this guy keep moving and we're going to keep cruising. But nice rough green snake. Big healthy adult. Super vibrant. And that green snake was the only snake we saw yesterday. That was pretty brutal. And I wish I could say that that's the first time that's happened this week, but since our last trip to Alabama at the beginning of the episode, this week has been pretty rough. And in fact, I've seen very few anything since our successful day in this area I'm standing right here, right now, earlier in this episode. But we're back out here in this area. It was really productive last time we were here. We got a glass lizard, a DOR glass lizard, and a handful of common snakes. So we're gonna try hiking around here a little bit this evening. It's a lot cooler than it has been. It's only around 77 degrees, and that's about as warm as it's gonna get today. We did see a racer on the road on the way in, but it got away. So hopefully there will be some stuff out in the habitat, and if not, maybe we'll see some stuff on the road. Caitlin spotted our first herp. There's a nice little green anole right there, chilling on the tree. Another thing worth mentioning, in a couple of days, we are forecasted to get a pretty direct impact from Hurricane Ian on the Gulf Coast, or potentially the western coast of Florida. But either way, it's going to bring some wonky weather this way. So I'm really trying to get in as much herping as I can before that happens, in the event that it's wonky weather in a bad way. I'm hoping it'll be wonky weather in a good way, though. All right, guys, we're walking around the edge of this pond here, and I spotted this little guy swimming off in the shallows. Our first herp we're going to get a good look at today, I guess other than that green anole. Nice little common musk turtle, also known as the stink pot. This guy's got some really cool moss growing on his shell, which I'll show you once he's in the water. It'll fluff up and look really neat, but nice looking turtle. It's been a while since we've got our hands on a turtle, so I'm happy with that. But we're going to let him go, and I'll get a little bit more video of him swimming away in the water. All right, I'm gonna kind of lower this guy down in the water so you can see what I mean. You see the algae fluffs up. Looks pretty cool, but all right. Oh, not this way, not this way, not this way. Go the other way. Brother, please. This water's super clear. Ta-da! All right, let's see what else we can find. Well, it happened again. That stink pot was the only thing of interest we saw. And this has been a pretty brutal stretch of herping, definitely one of the toughest stretches this fall, but nevertheless, we press on. We're back out here a couple days later. I've done a couple other things that will be included in future videos, but for the most part, it hasn't been particularly productive. But we're gonna try to do a little bit of 10 flipping today and see how that goes. It's nice and cool this morning. And unfortunately, it is going to be super sunny, but we're getting closer to the hurricane, which will hopefully bring a lot of rain and better weather our direction. Yeah, let's go flip some 10s, see if we can find any snakes. Well, there's our first snake of the day, a nice little red-bellied snake. We've been here a while, and this is our first snake, so I'm assuming it is going to be yet another slow day. And if that's the case, I'll probably just stay in tomorrow and wait for this hurricane to come and drop some rain, because it is really dry out here. But nice red-bellied snake, kind of on the crawl under 10. We're on the board. Nothing crazy, but nice little red-bellied snake. Let him go and get back to it. Well, here's a ringneck. A couple fossil reels so far, but that has been it in terms of snakes. Oh, there's a box turtle. You can kind of see him through there. He's tucked in nicely, sitting in the sun. Very cool. First one of those for the day. It's not very box turtle-y weather out, so we might not see any more, but nice to at least see one today. All right, well, Alex just flipped a box turtle, our second one of the day. Another nice looking one. This guy's got a little more color on him, but not as red of an eyeball. Very nice. Two of these guys so far. This guy's just chilling out under a big log. It's kind of weird. Well, here's yet another one of these. I'm just happy we're actually seeing snakes in half decent numbers compared to our last couple outings, so. Brown snake? Oh, another garter? All right, Alex has a garter over there. So there are actually 2 more ringnecks in this same stack, so 3 ringnecks in this one set. All right, well, here's a little garter Alex flipped while I was looking at those ringnecks. We're actually ending up with decent snake totals at this point, but still nothing too crazy, just common stuff. But like I said, I'm just happy to be seeing decent numbers after the last couple outings. It's been brutally slow. So we're gonna get a couple quick shots of this guy. Alex is from Germany, so this is actually a lifer for him. So he's gonna take some photos and we're gonna let it go. All right, little dude. Another garter. I wonder if that's one of the ones we saw under this piece a couple weeks ago. It's entirely possible. Oh, that's a huge worm snake. Look at that guy. Yeah, good diversity and good numbers, just none of our big targets, which are timbers and king snakes today. So, not a bad outing, just kind of lacking highlights yet again. But we'll put that guy back. Here is yet another box turtle. This one's tucked in nicely. That's awesome. I was not expecting to see a bunch of box turtles today, but I mean, when they're out, I guess. So we're just gonna leave that guy right there. And here's another garter snake right next to the box turtle under a rock. Box turtle is right there. You can't really see him from this angle, but 2 critters right next to each other. I think that is our 4th garter snake of the day. One got away. Oh, here's a little southern 2-line. These guys are going to become probably the single most common herp over the next couple of months, but it's actually been a while since I've showed one on the channel, so I figured I would take a quick clip of him before we let him go. All right, everyone, well, I am back home. It is super windy today, or at least the wind has picked up, I think, with this hurricane coming in. But it has definitely been a struggle the last couple of days, and in reality, that's just field herping. It's not always big targets after big targets. So while it might not be the most exciting content, I do try to portray accurately how the field herping experience really can be. And sometimes it's just a little bit slow. So if you're out there trying it and you're not having a lot of success, don't get too frustrated. It happens to everyone. The video did start out pretty strong though with that awesome slender glass lizard in Alabama. I really hope to spend more time in that area going forwards and hopefully find some more cool stuff out there. With that being said, I think I am going to wrap this episode up here. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time where hopefully things will be a little bit more productive after the hurricane, or maybe even during the hurricane. We might do a little bit of hurricane herping. So anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.